So now let's study how protons were discovered. So now remember the cathode ray experiment or the Crookes tube experiment. We saw that there was an anode and a cathode. Okay, anode and cathode are nothing but two plates that are, one is positively charged and another is negatively. So we studied in the previous example cathode rays, we studied that the cathode rays come from the cathode. Similarly, anode rays come out from the anode and go towards the cathode. Cathode rays come out from the cathode and go towards the anode, and anode rays come out from the anode and go towards the cathode. So how does this happen? Let's study. Okay, so what is happening is we know that an atom is electrically neutral. We knew that at that time, by the time electrons were discovered, by the time J.J. Thomson discovered electrons, we know, okay, electrons are negatively charged, but we also knew that the atom is electrically neutral. Regular atoms were not being attracted by magnets. Only electrons were being attracted by magnets. And if electrons are present within the atom, but an atom is not attracted by a magnet, that means there has to be something that is balancing that negative charge, right? So that means there has to be something positive. So they figured out by that time that something positive has to be there, but they did not know how to prove it. So Goldstein, what he did was he continued the cathode ray experiment. He changed it slightly, and that is how he discovered protons. Okay, so what he did is he took the same Crookes tube, and inside that Crookes tube and inside that cathode plate of that Crookes tube, he made tiny holes. Okay, so when he makes those tiny holes inside the cathode plate, what happens? The electrons that are coming from the cathode ray, remember he continued the cathode ray experiment. So Goldstein, he made holes in the cathode plate in the discharge tube. Discharge tube is nothing but in the Crookes tube, and he continued the experiment. He continued the same experiment that J.J. Thomson did. So he made holes inside the cathode and he continued. So what happened? The electrons, we know they were coming out from the cathode towards the anode. They were going towards the anode. So when they were going towards the anode, they go at a certain velocity, they go at a certain speed. And when they are going at that velocity, the gas inside this tube will have atoms. For example, I've mentioned this to you before also. Let's say if there is a hydrogen atom with one electron and one proton in the nucleus and one electron in its shell. And this electron, now these cathode rays, which also have electrons, they hit these gas particles, they hit the atoms of the gas, and they remove more electrons. So all of these electrons are now heading towards the anode. And you will see green light over here. Okay, so this region you will see green light. But then when this happens, you are left with what? H plus ions, H plus ions, H plus ions. And remember, what is an H plus ion? H plus ion is nothing but one proton. That's it. A hydrogen atom does not have a nucleus. It only it does not have a neutron. It only has one proton. So that means there are only positively charged particles. And if there are positively charged particles, they should be attracted to the negative plate. So all of these positively charged hydrogen atoms, which is nothing but protons, all the protons start going towards the negative plate. But what did Goldstein do? He made holes in those negative plate. So what happens to these protons? They pass through those holes, and all those protons, they fall onto the surface of the tube, and over here on this surface, they create a red glow. So all the protons, they create a red glow when they hit the test tube or the Crookes tube over here after passing the cathode ray. Did all of you understand this?
Could you explain once again?
Yes, sure, Arnav. In the previous experiment, we did it only till here, okay? So this was our experiment for cathode ray. This is cathode ray experiment, okay? So cathode ray experiment has one anode and one cathode. Okay, so from the cathode, the electrons are coming in and moving towards the anode. Anode is positively charged, electrons are negatively charged, cathode is negatively charged. So electrons are coming from this direction, from the cathode to the anode. Okay, and then you see the green light over here. This is what we learned in the previous experiment. Is this much clear to you, Arnav?
Ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so if this is clear to you, remember that I told you there is some gas inside this tube. Let us assume that the gas inside that tube is hydrogen gas. What is the atomic structure of a hydrogen gas? Hydrogen gas has one proton in the nucleus and one electron revolving around the nucleus. Okay, so this atom itself gets hit by all of these electrons that are coming from the cathode rays. So those electrons that are coming from the cathode, they have some velocity. And whenever something with velocity, for example, you're standing in the middle of the road and a car with some velocity comes and hits you, what will happen? You'll go ahead, you'll fly out of the road, you'll go and fall in some corner. Similarly, when these electrons are also moving from cathode to anode, they have some velocity. So that at that velocity, when the electron hits the hydrogen atom, it takes out some more electrons from the hydrogen atom. So when this electron comes out of the hydrogen atom, that electron, along with the electrons from the cathode rays, all of these electrons start flowing towards the anode. Then what is left once this electron has left the hydrogen atom? What happens to the hydrogen atom? The hydrogen atom turns into a hydrogen ion with a positive charge, right? Did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the hydrogen ion is nothing but what? It is just one proton. Hydrogen ion is just one proton. It does not have any neutron. The nucleus has only one proton. So if electron has gone, what is remaining? Just one proton is remaining. So all of these protons are positively charged. And if it is positively charged, that means what? It should move towards the negatively charged plate. And that means all of these positively charged protons, they are all moving towards the cathode because it is negatively charged. But what did Goldstein do? Goldstein ended up making holes inside the cathode plate. So what happens? All of these protons, they pass through those holes, and now on the other side of the cathode, you end up having positive rays. And these positive rays, they fall on the glass tube and they create a red colored glow onto the glass. And those rays are called anode rays. And anode rays are positively charged. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did everybody understand? Okay. So, so it's mentioned over here. I'll just read it out one more time. So electrons move with high speed towards the anode. As they move, they collide with the remaining molecules of the gas and the tube, causing them to lose more electrons. The positive ions formed are attracted by the perforate. This is not performed. It is, perforated. Perforated means something that has holes. So if something has holes, I will call it perforated. Okay. So they are attracted by the perforated cathode. The stream of these positive ions pass a glow on the glass wall of the discharge tube. So you will see a red colored glow over here on the discharge tube due to these invisible rays that are coming out of the anode, that are coming from the anode to the cathode. They pass through those holes and they create a red colored glow over here. So again, we know that these things are positively charged, that they have a charge. Those are positive charge, but we don't know if there are particles. So what do we do in order to test if these things have particles?
They should cause heat.
No, it has to move something. What does it have to move?
It has to move with the magnetic field.
That will tell you that it has charge. I want to know, how will I know if that thing has some mass, that it is a particle? How will I know that? They have to move the paddle wheel. Remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So so he detected these invisible rays and he allowed these rays to fall on a paddle wheel. And these rays also rotated the paddle wheel. That means what? That means these are particles. It is not just negative charge. It is not just light. They are particles also. Okay. So these two observations, one observation is the red glow and going towards the negative plate, cathode. So anode rays creating a red glow. And the other thing is that it fell onto the paddle wheel and it rotated the paddle wheel. So these two observations made Goldstein predict that anode rays contained some positively charged particles that he named as protons.